Hi guys, it's Anya from Interior Design Hub, back again with another interior design tip of the day. Today we're going to cover portfolio reviews, the do's and don'ts of your portfolio, as well as 5 tips for success. Alright guys, let's start with the question of the day. Do you think portfolios should just go digital? Do you think having a hard copy portfolio is still worth it? Comment below, let me know what you guys think. Also, if you're digital, are you ever worried about people stealing your ideas? That's kind of one of my issues with it. I don't know why. I feel like I've put it out there online, somebody might see it and then take it. All right, let's get into it. 5 tips for success. So tip number 1 is consistency. So what you want to do when you create a portfolio to get a job in the interior design business is you really want to be consistent. So you want to create a portfolio that looks clean and consistent throughout. So think of it just like you do for your design projects. So you want each page within your portfolio to read the exact same way. So you can see here, this is a quick snapshot and we've got the exact same thing happening. Every single page is consistent. Another tip that I use in my portfolio is, which you can't really tell, but the quality of paper. I actually do print all of my portfolio images on a really high quality cardstock. Now you're probably thinking, yeah, but we do everything digital, so like I don't need a portfolio. Yeah, you still need a portfolio. So even though you can absolutely send a digital copy, it's really nice to walk into an interview and actually be able to sit there and physically go through the portfolio with them. It's so important for them to be able to touch it, to see it, that when you're going through the interview and you actually are reviewing something with them, you can actually look at a document and you're not trying to look on a computer screen, or if you have technical issues, you actually have a physical hard copy here with you, and then you can go through all of it with them. And that's just so much easier and so much simpler. And I know we're at the digital age and you're going to say, but I have my tablet or my smartphone, or they have a laptop, or I have my laptop, and all those things. But I think it's really good to always be prepared and actually have a physical copy with you. So that means consistency, an excellent quality paper, and to make sure that all of your images are clear and concise. Tip number 2. Make sure to include before and after shots. I believe I've talked about this in another video. Actually, it was in the interior design versus interior decorator video, where we get into before and afters. And why they're so valuable is that there are jobs where you may do just a more of a decorating transformation with the space, which is still awesome. But if you're going for that commercial job and they want to know that you can take a space and fully gut it and renovate it and design it and have an outcome that's successful, they need to see where it went from and where it's gone to. So just so you know, showing before and afters is really key. Although we always love the beautiful after photos, it's really nice to be able to show them what something looked like beforehand and what something looked like afterwards. So try to include as many of those in your portfolio as possible. All right, tip number 3. Have at least 2 full sets of working drawings with you. Now what I mean have 2 full sets of construction drawings with you. If you're serious about being in interior design, you should be able to show whoever's interviewing you that you actually can do all of the detail work. So this is really important. You won't necessarily go over the full set of drawings. However, by having it there, it shows that you have attention to detail and that you actually are capable of doing a full set of construction drawings. And I think what's good about this is that in all of my experience when I've gone to interviews, they've been surprised that I've brought this with me. But honestly, if you want to be successful in this business, you want to show them that you're 100% capable of whatever task they throw your way. So what this shows them is that you can do a clear and consistent drawings that you can actually have submitted for tender. All right, so tip number 4, you're all ready, you've got your portfolio together, everything's consistent, you've got your working drawings ready to go, you've got your before and afters included, and you get in the interview and they only review the first couple pages. And you think, oh my gosh, I've put all this work into this portfolio. It's like, look how thick this thing is. And they've looked at 2 pages. What you really need to do when you're putting your portfolio together is include your best work first. and go from there. So make sure that doing like the absolute best project is the first project, and then what you deem is your second best, third, fourth, fifth, and just go down the line. Because the reality is, in almost every interview I've ever had, they've only ever looked at the first few anyways, because they only have so much time to go through it. So make sure you always start with your absolute best project first. And finally, tip number 5, be prepared to answer technical questions on all of your drawings and all of your information in this portfolio. I have had somebody flip through, and even though they flipped through really quick and they just kind of went like this, they stumbled upon something and then they asked a question about a project that I actually hadn't done for several years. And I luckily had made sure I'd gone through my portfolio, because, I'm always updating it, and read all my descriptions and made sure that I knew all the details on every single project. But just make sure that you're not fumbling for answers, because sometimes as you get further in your career, you actually forget why you did certain things or why you picked certain things. And if you're a student and it's to do with a project that you worked on in school, you also do a lot of projects and you actually sometimes forget why you did something that you did. So going through your portfolio and actually practicing what you're going to talk about with each single one that you have in there is really important. And if you find that you aren't really sure of why you did something, probably better to take it out. All right, bonus tip. I love my bonus tips. Bring a copy of your resume and your references. I know this seems weird because people think, well, if I'm going into an interview, aren't they just going to ask for references if they actually want them? What I always do as a rule of thumb is I actually stick a copy in the very back pages of my portfolio that actually have my references, which I've already contacted, and my resume included. So that way, if they have forgotten to print one out, you can say, I've got one right here for you. Or if they say, could you forward us your references? You can be like, you know what? I've got them right here for you. It looks like you've already thought ahead of the game, right? When it comes to design, a big part of what we do is we are forward thinking as to, what type of design challenges are we going to face and trying to solve them. So when you go into a design interview and you've already got all those extra little things, it shows that you think through. It's a great tip for success.